Hey, how's it going? Sunny Chris here, your lender in sneakers with American Pacific Mortgage, San Diego. Hope everybody is staying healthy, staying safe, and also just staying inside so we can combat this coronavirus and hopefully just get back to normal life. And it's Wednesday, April 1st, 2020. So happy April Fools, although nothing's really a joke right now. Wow, that's a bit dark. But anyways, it is What's the Cost Wednesday, April 1st, 2020, where I go into active listings in San Diego County and basically share with you and give you an idea what you can expect as far as the estimated monthly payment and also the estimated cash to close. I think that's one of the biggest things for anyone looking to buy a home is you walk into a home, you fall in love with it, but the biggest question in the back of your mind is, can I afford it? Does this fall in my budget? So that's the whole purpose of What's the Cost Wednesday, is to give you an idea and also as well to hopefully be a resource to you guys. If you have any questions, always feel free to reach out. So let's just hop right into it and let's get right into it. So today's listing is brought to you by Team Manzon, 2942 Oro Blanco Circle. And really before we get into this, I also just want to reiterate a lot of the terms that I'm using as far as the interest rates and the market conditions is I'm going off of Mortgage News Daily's survey. So what they do and what I'm suspecting, if it's anything like the Freddie Mac PMMS rate, which is the primary mortgage market survey, they're probably reaching out to different banks and they're asking banks today, what are they offering as far as interest rates? Although on their site, they do not disclose what's the FICO score, how many points the borrower's paying, and also as well, what's their down payment. Because those are all factors that will affect the interest rate and the terms that you're going to be offered from a lender. So this is what they're reporting here. The 30-year fixed rate mortgage is going to be at 3.88 today. There you're going to see the whole progression of what's happening in the home market. And that's just another episode. Stay tuned for my Monday mortgage market updates for next Monday. FHA 30-year fixed rates at 4%. For VA loan rates, I am using bankrate.com. They have a survey as well. And they're saying that what's available right now for VA loans is at 3.86. Once again, the points, the FICO score isn't disclosed. So what we're going to do is just to be conservative here is we're going to buffer these interest rates to basically show you what it would possibly cost without any points and just give you a good estimate. So once again, once you speak with the lender, it can definitely change because it's going to be curtailed and tailored to you and customized to your financial profile, your specific FICO score, your specific financial information profile. But for now, we're going to give you a good idea of what you can expect for the estimated cash to close, the total monthly payment for 2942 Oro Blanco Circle. Although that I'm using Redfin, I am a big advocate to use your local experts like Team Manzon to enter into a real estate deal, one of the biggest transactions of your life, because you should have somebody working alongside you to walk you through the whole process. But yeah, let's hop right into the listing. This is the front of the home. I'm loving the color so far. Nice, beautiful palm trees, green front yard. That looks amazing. Oh, look at that. Shiny wood floors, or is that laminate? I'm not 100% sure, but it is shiny. A lot of natural lighting here that I'm liking so far. Nice open layout for the living room. Okay, I'm liking that for sure. More natural lighting. Oh, look at that, a little island in the kitchen. I know that's going to be a plus for my wife, but the biggest thing for me is the bathroom right here. I can work with that. I can wake up to that every single morning. For me, when I'm looking at homes, I think bathrooms are a huge, huge, huge thing. If it's not something that I can jive with every single day and I can't wake up to it, I'm probably not going to like the home. The one thing that I do want to point out is, oh, look at that backyard. Nice open backyard, okay. Is that what we're seeing now, and especially with Team Manzon, is they're opting to, obviously do right by their seller to do these virtual open houses via Matterport. So I know some listings, especially theirs, are going to have this capability, and they're going to be hosting online live webinars doing these open houses. So stay tuned for that. If you're not following them on social media, follow them on social media for these online live tours, where you can virtually see the home before scheduling a private showing so you can stay healthy and safe for all parties, the buyer and the seller. So let's hop right into the total cost analysis here. Oh, let's clear up all the highlights. So once again, I'm going to be able to show you the estimated monthly payment, the estimated cash to close, but also as well, I'm going to show you the benefits of renting versus owning. So I'm estimating the rent to be about $2,200, which I think is pretty conservative for San Diego when it comes to renting a home. So if you are renting a home, hopefully this reflects what you're paying every single month. And then what we're going to compare it against is a conventional 30-year fixed, FHA 30-year fixed, and a VA 30-year fixed, which are pretty standard loan products that any lender can offer you. So hopping right into it, the purchase price for a conventional 30-year, or just in general, is $605,000 for this listing. For this purchase price, the minimum down payment is going to be 5% because you're now considered high balance. Interest rate at 4.5. Once again, we're buffering based off the Mortgage News Daily Survey. And you can estimate your total monthly payment at $4,264 right there. And the estimated cash to close for a conventional 30-year fixed in total is $48,045. And really, just to kind of reiterate, these are estimated figures, but I am very cautious and I do try to estimate on the higher side. So essentially, if you're going to buy this home and you're going to have the minimum down payment using a conventional 30-year, if you have about $48,000 in total saved up, you should be good to close on this home. So going into the FHA 30-year example, $605,000 FHA, the minimum down payment is 3.5% there. 4.25% gives you a total monthly payment of $4,474. And as you can see, it is higher than the conventional 30-year because you have a higher loan balance because of the lower down payment for the FHA loan. But also as well, the mortgage insurance, especially if you have good credit, it's going to be higher on the FHA 30-year compared to if you were going to stick with the conventional loan, that is. And the total estimated cash to close is about $38,970. So if you have that amount saved up, that's how much you should expect to close on the home using an FHA loan. Now going into, last but not least, the VA 30-year fixed rate mortgage, and this is for all our veterans out there. Thank you so much for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice and your family's sacrifice. Me coming from a military brat background, my dad being in the Navy for 20 years, definitely understand the hardship and the sacrifice. So I truly believe that the VA loan is a benefit to our veterans. So now going into the example, $605,000, 100% financing there, loan amount at $617. This is including the funding fee, which if you're not disabled, you do have a funding fee for the VA loan. Rates at 4.25, you can expect the total monthly payment at $4,180. And as you can see there, the reason why, although you have a higher loan amount, the biggest thing is that VA loans do not require monthly mortgage insurance for our veterans. So I would say that's probably one of the biggest benefits too as well, besides the 100% financing, is that you don't have monthly mortgage insurance and you're just paying on the principal and interest every single month. And also the total cash to close is at $17,795 for a $605,000 home. So although it's 100% financing, yes, for all my veterans out there, you do still have to save money to cover closing costs. And as I mentioned before, this is still a cautious estimate. So if you have about $17,000 saved up, you can definitely expect to close on this home still. So hope you found that to be helpful as far as showing you what the monthly payment looks like for this particular home and what the estimated cash to close is. If you have any further questions or want to go into detail, feel free to DM me, reach out. Definitely would like to have a conversation with you. Let's hop into the rent versus own analysis. So if you're going to rent for about 5 years and you're paying $2,200 a month, this is how much you can expect to pay out of pocket. So that's a cost to you, about $138,000 right there. And you compare that with the potential equity per the loan program that you could have built, that is a huge difference. Now, if you see in the 10-year example, this is how much it would cost you in 10 years if you do plan to rent for 10 years, close to about $300,000 right there. You compare that to the equity that you've been able to build in 10 years. That's crazy, right? So just as simple as, making the decision to hop into the market, making sure that you know what your budget is, that you have a sound financial grasp of what your monthly payment should be, and that you're getting the right advice when it comes to home ownership, I would say is the biggest huge advantage to speaking with someone like myself, or like Team Manzon, so that we can outlay these options for you and you don't have to own a home at the detriment of your financial goals. I think that's one of my biggest things when it comes to consulting for buying a home is that home ownership shouldn't be at the detriment of your financial goals. We can definitely find a way, especially if you're still living here in San Diego. But it's definitely understanding your financial budget and making sound decisions. So hope you guys found that episode of What's the Cost Wednesday to be helpful. Happy April Fool's Day, and stay home, stay healthy, stay safe out there. Let's flatten this curve. Let's bring life back to normal, and let's get through this. Take care, you guys.